How's it
Hey
going?
Josh, it's good. How are you?
Yeah, doing great, thank you. And such a pleasure to be able to speak to you, particularly for this film, because what a journey it was to go on as a viewer. So I can only imagine when you sat down to read the script, what you were kind of thinking as you explored this character of Bruce.
Oh yeah, thank you. Well, I'm really happy to sit down with you as well. And it was certainly, yeah, I mean it I knew it was going to keep me busy. When I read it and I heard BT's vision for it, I was like, okay, well I can already wrap my head around the emotional component of this character, what he's going through, his grief, his longing, his loss, his refusal to accept what life has given him. Uh But the work that I had to do in addition to that quickly was a deep dive into the science behind it all, you know what I mean? Which is very real and coming down the pike more quickly, I think, than we imagine. I can't say BT's gotten it exactly right, or that any of the people that are uh prophesizing about what might come are right, but there has, over the last 30 years, we've seen an enormous technological explosion, and people are interested in being alive for as long as they can. So it stands to reason that we're going to see a lot of that fused in the future.
Yeah, it is such a fascinating story, and I loved how it is just the three of you in the film. Obviously,
Um,
yourself, Jessica, and Juliana, but your collaboration with Jessica in particular, and that really complicated dynamic between her and
mhm.
Bruce as the story plays out. Did you work a lot with her to try and figure out how these two would interact, particularly, as I said, as the film goes on?
Yeah, I mean, we spent all of our time together when we were making this movie. I mean, we spent almost all of our downtime together. We were in upstate New York, in the Western Catskills, in a town that didn't have cell service really. And we were both there by ourselves for the whole time, so we were really able to, um, yeah, spend a ton of time together, establish a lot of trust. I mean, Jessica's obviously an amazing actress, and so when I first saw her work, it was just really exciting because I was like, okay, we're going to be able to do something special here. And and yeah, I mean, I just had a great time with her. I just think the world of her. I think she's incredible.
Yeah, and then of course, having been a child actor yourself, how impressed were you by
Yes.
what you saw from Juliana? Because what a
I mean,
talented kid she is.
yeah, Juliana is fantastic. She's a great actress. I mean, I was really blown away by her. And there was one day where she did a scene, and then we did my coverage, and then she was like, "Can I do my coverage again?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she did it again, and she was like even better. And she was so right to ask to do it again. But for an 8-year old to have the understanding and the courage and the want to improve on what she did when she saw what the other actor ended up finding in his coverage, you know what I mean? Was just great. I mean, she's great.
Yeah, fantastic. And when Bruce's darker nature is revealed, you get some very physical moments, obviously with your
Yeah.
co-stars in the film. And I imagine that takes a lot of trust between the two of you. And it's difficult for you to get
Yeah.
in the headspace of where Bruce must be, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that Jessica and I had established a lot of trust. I think that she knew, that I thought the world of her, and I think that we both really trusted each other to push it, and to really go for it. And of course, we had a stunt coordinator on set and we had an intimacy coordinator on set. So, there's always somebody standing by to make sure everybody's safe, from a bird's eye view. But I just think that she and I could kind of like look at each other and know that we were in a good space and check in between takes.
Yeah, some great moments in the film between the two of you. And, the film alludes to, Bruce has been doing what he's doing for a long time. So
Yeah.
did you really think a lot about what he's been through to get him to this point and where we find him? And was that something you and BT discussed to, help you get into his head maybe a little bit better?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that it's been decades of this, if not centuries of this for him. I mean, it has been a very, very long time. And I think he's been driven to the brink of madness. I think that he's a science-minded person, so he has the patience of um someone who's capable of experimenting over and over and over and not getting the result that he wants. But it's so linked to to his heart, you know what I mean, to what he wants for himself, you know, his family, that I think that it's just driven him a bit mad by the end. Maybe I'm putting it mildly, you know, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Bruce is not a psychopath. Bruce is not a sociopath. Bruce thinks he's doing the right thing for the people that he loves that love him. You know what I mean? Bruce thinks that he is skirting his fate. He thinks that he is doing right by these two people in his life and that he is going to return his family to what it was meant to be. You know, so Bruce's fatal flaw is that he just can't accept life as it has come at him and grieve and move forward. You know, he is dead set on playing God in that sense, and that's where, you know, all good sci-fi goes awry.
Absolutely. And I think everyone's going to take away something different from this one. But for you personally, did you walk away thinking of Bruce as a villain or just this desperate man who's just, as you said, over all these decades and years has just maybe lost his way?
No, I don't think of him as a villain at
Yeah.
all. You know, like I said, I don't think of him as a sociopath or a psychopath, or I don't even think of him as like an anarchist at all. You know what I mean? I actually think he is and this kind of made it easier to play him in that sense. I think he is a singularly focused person who, in his attempt to do right by his family, is doing morally questionable things. And what is a life? You know, if Bruce has, without spoiling anything, try not to at least, like, if Bruce has given life, can he take it? You know, um, if he's given life in an attempt to give a certain life and didn't, is it permissible for him to take that life to start over? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is really, I mean, I think that the movie just asks a lot of, obviously, it has all the fun and all the thrills of a sci-fi horror movie, but it asks really deep philosophical questions, in my opinion. And that's kind of what was able to keep me forever curious about this person and about these topics.
Yeah, completely agree. And again, I won't go into spoilers either, but what a gut punch
Yeah,
of an ending. It's
yeah,
gonna shock people. But to
totally.
to work with a first time obviously you've had amazing long career, but to work with a first time director like BT on this, what's that like for you as an actor? And is it easy to form a partnership with him coming on? I know this was a very personal story to him as well. And does that add
Yeah.
any pressure at all for you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, BT has a long history of directing in music videos and commercials, and he's did an amazing short film that I loved. You know, so he's got a lot of experience on set. This is his first feature, and it is deeply personal to him. Um, and you know, I just think that everybody's made their first movie at one point. You know, the most legendary filmmakers at one time or another set out to call action for their very first time on their first feature. You know, and so it does feel special to me to maybe be here at that moment, for BT. I think that BT can have a really long career doing, you know, whatever it is he chooses to do, and so I'm you know, I was honored to be able to support and to help him realize the vision that he had.
Yeah, well, you do an incredible job, as do your co-stars. And
Thank
this is
you.
such a special film. I cannot wait for people to see it. So thank you so much for your time, Joseph. It's been such a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Josh. You too. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, you too.